जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवर धारी जय गिरिवर धारी जय यशोदा नंदना जय रंजना जय यशोदनंदना जय व्रज जन रंजना जय यशोदनंदना जय व्रज जन रंजना जय यशोदनंदना जय व्रज जन रंजना जय यमुना तिरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधे जय जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव जगन्नाथ बलदेव माई की जय नरसिंह भगवान की जय पंचतत्व की जय षड गोस्वामी की जय गुरु परंपरा की जय श्री गोपाल की जय श्री गुरुदेव की जय गोपाल की बोल ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God Narayana, unto Naranayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So Hare Krishna, Puris Mataji, thank you for joining. So just share the screen for today's verse. I've been giving the opportunity to speak on verse number 4th, Canto 12th chapter, verse number 10. Atha yajata yajnesham क्रतुभिर्भूरि दक्षिणैः द्रव्यक्रिया देवतानां कर्म कर्मफलप्रदम् अता यजत यज्ञेशं क्रतुभिर्भूरि दक्षिणैः द्रव्यक्रिया देवतानां कर्म कर्मफलप्रदम् अथा यजत यज्ञेशं क्रतुभिर्भूरि दक्षिणैः द्रव्यक्रिया देवतानां कर्म कर्मफलप्रदम्. One Mataji and one Prabhuji can decide.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Atha yajatat yagnesham kratubhir bhuri dakshinaihi dravya kriya devatanam karma karma phala pradam. Hare Krishna, Dhanyavad.
Hare Krishna. One Prabhu. Yes.
May I?
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Ata yajata yakyesham kratubhirbhuri dakshinaihi dravyakriya devatanam karma karma palapratam.
Hare Krishna. Word to word meaning synonymous. Atha, thereafter. Ayajata, he worshipped. Yajna Isham, the master of sacrifices. Kratubihi, by sacrificial ceremonies. Bhuri, great. Dakshinaihi, by charities. Dravya Kriya Devatana, of sacrifices including various paraphernalia, activities and demigods. Karma, the objective. Karma Phala, the result of activities. And Pradam, who awards. Translation and purport by His Divine Guest Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please hear the translation and purport. As long as he remained at home, Dhruva Maharaj performed many great ceremonial sacrifices in order to please the enjoyer of all sacrifices, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prescribed ceremonial sacrifices are especially meant to please Lord Vishnu, who is the objective of all such sacrifices and who awards the resultant benedictions. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 3.9, it is said, Yajñātāt karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. One should act or work only in order to please the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, one becomes entangled in the resultant reactions. According to the 4 divisions of Varna and Ashrama, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are especially advised to perform great ceremonial sacrifices and to distribute their accumulated money very liberally. Dhruva Maharaj, as a king, an ideal Kshatriya, performed many such sacrifices, giving very liberally in charity. Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are supposed to earn their money and accumulate great riches. Sometimes they do it by acting sinfully. Kshatriyas are meant to rule over a country. Dhruva Maharaj, for example, in the course of ruling, had to fight and kill many yakshas. Such action is necessary for Kshatriyas. A Kshatriya should not be a coward and he should not be non-violent. To rule over the country, he has to act violently. Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are therefore especially advised to give in charity at least 50% of their accumulated wealth. In Bhagavad Gita, it is recommended that even though one enters the renounced order of life, he still cannot give up the performance of yajna, dana, and tapasya. They are never to be given up. Tapasya is meant for the renounced order of life. Those who are retired from worldly activities should perform tapasya, penances, and austerities. Those who are in the material world, the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, must give charity. Brahmacharis, in the beginning of their lives, should perform different kinds of yajnas. Dhruva Maharaj, as an ideal king, practically emptied his treasury by giving charity. A king is not meant simply to realize taxes from the citizens and accumulate wealth to spend in sense gratification. World monarchy has failed ever since kings began to satisfy their personal senses with the taxes accumulated from the citizens. Of course, whether the system is monarchy or democracy, the same corruption is still going on. At the present moment, there are different parties in the democratic government, but everyone is busy trying to keep his post or trying to keep his political party in power. The politicians have very little time to think of the welfare of the citizens, whom they oppress with heavy taxes in the form of income tax, sales tax, and many other taxes. People sometimes have 80 to 90% of their income taken away, and these taxes are lavishly spent on the high salaries drawn by the officers and rulers. Formerly, the taxes accumulated from the citizens were spent for performing great sacrifices as enjoined in the Vedic literature. At the present moment, however, almost all forms of sacrifice are not at all possible. Therefore, it is recommended in the Shastras that people should perform Sankirtana Yajna. Any householder, regardless of his position, can perform the Sankirtana Yajna without expenditure. All the family members can sit down together and simply clap their hands and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Somehow or the other, everyone can manage to perform such a yajna and distribute prasada to the people in general. That is quite sufficient for this age of Kali. The Krishna consciousness movement is based on this principle. Chant the Hare Krishna mantra at every moment, as much as possible, both inside and outside of the temples, and as far as possible, distribute prasada. This process can be accelerated with the cooperation of state administrators and those who are producing the country's wealth. Simply by liberal distribution of prasada and sankirtana, the whole world can become peaceful and prosperous. Generally, in all the material sacrifices recommended in the Vedic literature, there are offerings to the demigods. This demigods worship is especially meant for less intelligent men. Actually, the result of such sacrifice goes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. He is actually the enjoyer of all sacrifices. His name, therefore, is Yajna Purusha. Although Dhruva Maharaj was a great devotee and had nothing to do with these sacrifices, to set an example to his people, he performed many sacrifices and gave all his wealth in charity. For as long as he lived as a householder, he never spent a farthing for his sense gratification. In this verse, the word karma phala pradam is very significant. The Lord awards everyone different kinds of karma as the individual living entities desire. He is a super soul present within the heart of everyone and is so kind and liberal that he gives everyone full facilities to perform whatever acts one wants. Then the result of the action is also enjoyed by the living entity. If anyone wants to enjoy or lord it over material nature, the Lord gives him full facilities. But he becomes entangled in the resultant reactions. Similarly, if anyone wants to engage himself fully in devotional service, the Lord gives him full facilities and the devotee enjoys the results. The Lord is therefore known as Karma Phala Pradhan. Jai Srila Prabhupada's transcendental purport ki Jai. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Subhadadikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttamadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sagara Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagalita Shri Vishaka Tamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Govika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavameshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Bhascha Kripasindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yonta Pravishya Mamavacha Mimam Prasuptam Sanjeevayati Akila Shakti Dharaswadhamna Anyam Jahassa Charana Shravanato Prana Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pangam Navitigirim Yatkrapatamam Viparmanam Namo Vishnu 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 Shante Mahashu Samutanami So Hare Krishna, Mataji, thank you very much for keeping the appointment with Krishna today. Today is 16th of April 2025. So today we'll be discussing verse number 10 from 4th canto, 12th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. See, in the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, Dhruva Maharaj's episode is one of the most important. So this entire 12th chapter, which we are discussing, 4th canto, 12th chapter, is a description of Dhruva Maharaj's different qualities. See, in the translation of this verse, Prabhupada writes, right? As long as he remained at home, Dhruva Maharaj performed many great ceremonial sacrifices in order to please the enjoyer of all sacrifices, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, enjoyer is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he says, prescribed ceremonial sacrifices are especially meant to please Lord Vishnu, who is the objective of all such sacrifices and who awards the resultant benedictions. See, there are some very powerful instructions, right? On pure devotional service. Without any, and pure devotional means we do the devotional service without any expectations. See, anything done on the material plane, it reacts. And we should suffer for that. See, when you suffer, don't blame anybody except yourself. It is all our activities, causing us to suffer. See, no one else is responsible for our suffering. This we have to understand. See, in order to reach the spiritual level, right, our bhakti should be free from any expectations, ahaituki, and free from and uninterrupted, apratihata. But we always expect something from the Lord also, right? The Lord in exchange of our devotional service. This must be stopped. So from today, we should all take a vow, right? Never ask Krishna anything. No demands. Because Krishna knows what we need, right? And what we deserve. And he provides according to that. He has been till now. And he will do in future also. See, a child, the child should not go to their father and ask every day, please provide for my maintenance. Correct? Father will get upset, right? He says, son, I am already doing it for you. Why are you asking? Same thing here also with Krishna. So in order to reach the spiritual level, what we should do? In order to reach the spiritual level, to become mature, we should chant more and more. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Actually, we should chant Prabhupada says 64 rounds, right? Even 128 rounds. Whereas we are struggling even for 16 rounds. See, by being satisfied in our situation, we should close all our material accounts. As long as we are dissatisfied, the material accounts will continue. See, with this satisfaction, we can start doing ahaituki bhakti. What is ahaituki bhakti? No expectations. And apratihata, uninterrupted. Otherwise, we have so many obstacles and interruptions, right? So we have to chant more and more. So Krishna will provide those opportunities. That's why in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, right? Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhurtam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantim rachati. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. See, the fruity workers, they perform various activities to please the Lord. But with expectations, that is fruity. But Krishna says, you offer that to me. But the fruity workers perform various activities to please the Lord also. But the intention is to get fruits for themselves and enjoy them very nicely, right? Bhoktaram yajna tapasam in this material world. Whereas the impersonalists, the Gyanis, right? They perform great austerities and study of scriptures with an aim to get liberation from material existence and become equal to God. Merge. They want to become Sarvaloka Maheshwar, impersonalist, the Gyanis, right? And some yogis, they perform severe austerities and meditate on the Lord, but with the desire to gain mystic powers and, attract other living entities and make them think that they are the true well-wisher of the living entities. Suhridam Sarva Bhutana. So since they are having some expectations from the Lord, because they are having expectations, they are dissatisfied. And there are less of great amount of anxiety is there for them. Whereas the pure devotees, they fully understand that the three positions just now I told you are exclusively meant for Krishna actually. And they never expect to take his position, pure devotees. So they are always peaceful. See, though we are chanting and doing all the devotional activities and claim to be devotees, we have these tendencies of karmis, jnanis, and yogis in tons and tons. And we criticize them as if we are pure devotees. See, when we are purified of all these tendencies, right, we can enter into the kingdom of God. Until we are purified, we have to undergo the cycle of birth and death. Inevitable. It's inevitable you have to go through. That's why in Mundaka Upanishad 331 mentions in a very wonderful way. Only a pure devotee can know this supreme being in whom all the universes are resting and one who shines eternally, right? So those who worship this supreme divine person without any material desires, they can cross over the material existence. See, it is not so easy to understand even theoretically that we should worship the Lord without expectation. Why? Because of our greedy nature, unlimited greed. So let us all pray, right? Pray intensely at the lotus feet of Guru, Prabhupada, and Krishna, right? So that we will be able to accept these things first, at least theoretically, and try to cultivate ahituki bhakti gradually. See, one of the biggest pitfalls in devotional service, right, is for a living entity to think that whatever service he is performing to the Lord and his spiritual master is actually required by them. Understood? It's the greatest pitfall. We think that we are doing devotional service because Krishna needs them, my Guru needs them. It is required by them. That's why we are doing. For example, I may think that I have been tasked to assist in the temple construction because the Lord and his spiritual master, they require such a temple built. So what follows next is the growth of my false ego. Because I start thinking that if I did not perform that service, Krishna and Guru may have been bereft of my contributions. This mentality is very easy to build, right? Build up in our being. And after a while, what happens? No, we begin thinking that our life's goal is to perform service of any kind for the Lord because we are the chosen ones. I am the chosen one to do this temple construction. That's why in Bhagavatam 5.3.8, the priests, they offered a very nice prayer to Lord Rishabdeva. They said, all of life's goals and opulences are directly, self-sufficiently, unceasingly, and unlimitedly increasing in you at every moment. Indeed, you are the unlimited enjoyment and blissful existence itself. As far as we are concerned, oh Lord, we are always after material enjoyment. See, you do not need all these sacrificial arrangements, but they are meant for us. Actually, the prayer, the priests are telling Krishna, you do not need all these sacrificial arrangements, but they are meant for us actually, so that we may be benedicted by your Lordship. So all these sacrifices are performed for our fruitive results, and they are not actually needed by you. Now, Prabhupada's explanation of this point in his transcendental purport is a timely reminder of what a devotee should think and feel. That is, his attitude should be what? When he is performing devotional service. In the purport, he says, being self-sufficient, the Supreme Lord does not need huge sacrifices. Fruitive activity for a more opulent life is for those who desire such material opulence for their own interest. Yajnatat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. 3.9 Bhagavad Gita. If we do not satisfy, if we do not act to satisfy the Supreme Lord, then we engage in Maya's activities. See, we may construct a very gorgeous temple, spends thousands of thousands of money, but such a temple is not required by the Lord. God has many millions of temples for his residence. And it does not need our attempt also. He does not require opulent activity at all. But such engagement of making temples and constructing temples and all is meant for our benefit. If we engage our money in constructing a gorgeous temple, we are freed from the reactions of our endeavors. This is for our benefit. See, in addition, if we attempt to do something nice for the Supreme Lord, Krishna is pleased with us and gives us his benediction. So the gorgeous arrangements, are not for the Lord's sake, but for our own. If we somehow or the other receive blessings and benedictions from the Lord, our consciousness can be purified and we can become eligible to return back home, back to Godhead. See, in India, there is a very common saying, Karma ki eja, phal ki apeksha mat kar. It means, do your work without any expectation of fruits of that action. See, to the common man, the saying sounds very wise and powerful, but upon cross-questioning, we find that no one is able to provide answers to two questions. What is that? Number one, do your karma, prescribed duties, for whose satisfaction? First question, do your karma for whose satisfaction? Second is, how does one benefit by doing their prescribed duties? Two questions. That's why in Bhagavad Gita 3.8, Krishna says, one cannot even maintain one's physical body without physical work. So, everybody is forced to work. Forced to work means do their prescribed duties. As soon as one is born within the middle world, right, he has to do something. For this matter, even sleeping is considered as working. See, when we perform any work, there is sacrifice involved. Any work. For example, number one, when the ladies at home are preparing prasadam, when the Mataji is right, they are sacrificing their time, which they could have utilized to speak to their friends, eat outside, but they are using for preparing prasadam. That is sacrifice. Second, when we teach our children shlokas, we are sacrificing our time, which we could have utilized to watch television. 3, when we go to attend some Namahata programs, we are sacrificing our personal time, which we could have used to spend with our family on some recreation. So Krishna is confirming in verse number 3.14 of Bhagavad Gita that yajna, sacrifice, is born out of prescribed duties. Therefore, Krishna is warning us in 3.9, right? Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. And in that way, you will always remain free from bondage. So the first point to realize is that we have to work for the satisfaction of Krishna and not ourselves. So as part of our prescribed duty, we have to bring our children very nicely in Krishna conscious atmosphere. And for this reason, we should be very careful in executing our prescribed duty, ensuring that we satisfy Krishna. The second important point mentioned in the translation of 3.15 in Bhagavad Gita is, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. So Krishna himself says that he is personally present in acts of sacrifice. When we perform prescribed duties, Krishna is present. That's why Prabhupada in his transcendental purport very nicely guides us by mentioning that the conditioned souls must try to follow the process of yajna by becoming Krishna conscious. Even those who are not followed the Vedic injunctions may adopt the principles of Krishna consciousness. And that will take the place of performance of Vedic yajnas or karmas. So, if we perform our prescribed duties with Krishna in the center, because Krishna is himself present in such prescribed duties, he will guide us from within. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. By giving us the intelligence to come back to God. So the act remains the same. Whether we go to work, eating prasadam, only the consciousness changes from satisfying ourselves to satisfying Krishna. And this change, will give us the greatest benefit any person can get in this middle world by just performing the prescribed duties. Now let us see the reasons for us not being able to remember Krishna constantly. Okay. Number one, why we are not able to remember Krishna constantly, Nityam. Number one, our goal is not Krishna. Our goal is not Krishna. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.18, Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Suhrit Prabhava Pralaya Sthanam Nidhanam Bijam Avyayam. This I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place and the eternal seed. See, we have so many goals in our life, but Krishna is not in our goal. When somebody asks you, right? Whatever goal we set, our mind will always be thinking of the goal. Because we have not come to the conclusion that we have not come to the conclusion that Krishna is our ultimate goal. Our remembrance of the Lord is very meager, very little. So Krishna is not, our goal is not Krishna. First point. Second is, we do not have the strong feeling that everything belongs to Krishna. We always say that we are busy with household work, office work, school work. If we really know that everything belongs to Krishna, then we will understand that everything is Krishna's work. See, Krishna is missing in all these things. And this reflects our mentality. See, we don't have the feeling that our house belongs to Krishna or Krishna is the ultimate proprietor of wherever we are working. This is the reason we always make a distinction between our material activities and devotional activities. Whereas a devotee, he sees Krishna everywhere. The third, we do not work for the pleasure of Krishna. Our objective is not to please Krishna. How many times do we think before any activity, is this act going to please Krishna? That's why Krishna says in 3.9, Yajnatarth Karmano, work does and sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Right? Then only you'll always remain free of bondage. You have to perform. See, while doing work in the office, our mind is always thinking of the pleasure of the boss. Our remembrance of the Lord appears like a flashlight, little moments, and then disappears. The fourth point is, we do not realize or feel that we have to go. Mujhe jana hai. Kahan jana hai? My Guru Maharaj used to always wants us to all to remember all the time, Mujhe jana hai. See, in most of the cases, it is true that unless we have the fear of death, we will not have the feeling of detachment from the material world. Parikshit Maharaj says in Bhagavatam 1:19-14, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the control of both the transcendental and mundane worlds, has graciously overtaken me in the form of a Brahmana's curse. Due to my being too much attached to family life, the Lord, in order to save me, has appeared before me in such a way that only out of fear I will detach myself from the world. So we have to leave this body and start another journey. So when we go for a holiday, we plan so many things. Right? But that journey is not confirmed. It's not still confirmed. And is subject to many factors, right? When we plan for our journey in the middle world. But our journey after death is sure. As sure as death, they say, no. But we do not think that, what can I carry when I leave this body? What is going to be transferred to the next life? Chanting the holy names is the only wealth we can carry. So we should start accumulating that wealth. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Fifth point. We may even realize that we will die. Okay, after listening to so many things, we may even realize that we will die. But we do not realize that we can die at any time. Yamaraj has no holiday. So this point does not sink into us. And we waste our time without remembering Krishna, thinking that we will do it later. Sixth point. We do not pray to Krishna to give his remembrance. Sorry. Right? We do not pray to Krishna to give his remembrance. Our prayer sessions, our prayer sessions have been converted into begging sessions for material prosperity. But we do not pray like what Prabhupada wanted us to pray. Simply our prayer should be, my dear Krishna, please remind me to always chant your holy names. Please do not put me into forgetfulness. You are sitting within me as a super soul. So you can put me into forgetfulness or into remembering you. So please do not put me into forgetfulness. Please always remind me to chant. Even if you send me into the hell, it doesn't matter. Just so long as I can always chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. The seventh point. Our endeavors are not sincere in remembering Krishna. Prabhupada says that the honey of chanting, of chanting the holy names, is within the remembrance of Krishna. That is a sweetness. Just by remembering that honey. So we give the battle before we fight. If we make a sincere endeavor, Krishna will definitely help us. That is the seventh point. Our endeavors are not sincere in remembering Krishna. Eighth and last point. Because our intake of mental energy is more, our remembrance of the Lord is very little. So the less intake of mental energy, it will lead to greater output of the spiritual energy. This means we have to cut down on eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Our material necessities are to be kept to the minimum. That's why, so because the intake of mental energy is more, that's why remembrance of the Lord is very little. So we have to see what is the cure for the unwanted qualities. There will be qualities which are not required, but it is still there. So we need to, what we have to do is, my Guru Maharaj always used to say, we need to learn to improve our behavior by studying Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, if there is no significant change to our character, which if it is not taking place, then our Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita studies are just for name and fame. Just to show. Just to prove, not improve. So persons, that is in verse 4, 6, 47, Bhagavatam says, persons who observe everything with differentiation, who are simply attached to fruitive activities, who are mean-minded, who are always pained to see the flourishing condition of others, and who thus give distress to them by uttering harsh and piercing words, have already been killed by providence. Thus, there is no need for them to be killed again by an exalted personality like you. So this pritak diya, this word in this verse, pritak diya means those who are thinking differently. Like I am an American, I am an Indian, I am so and so. Very important point to understand is, my Guru Maharaj said that the secret of fruitive activity is that we should never discourage people who are doing fruitive activities. Please understand this point. We should never discourage people who are doing fruitive activities. Because you think I am a devotee, I am doing chanting everything. If you see somebody else not doing, but using some fruitive activities as a transaction, you should not discourage him. Or you're in Maya. See, on the contrary, we should encourage them. See, by doing fruitive activities, that is, they go to the temple. They do put the one day and but with the expectation, right? But by doing these fruitive activities, they will one day be fed up with it and come to renounce them. One day will come. Wholeheartedly, they will come to the temple. Otherwise, what happens? Half-heartedly, they will do fruitive activities in the temple anyway they are doing, right? So slowly they will pick up. See, like the expert mother's way, right? She lets her child play in another place nearby while she's working, right? With toys and all. So when she was about to go home, if you take the child immediately out of the play, child will cry, right? But instead, if she plays with the child for a little moment, and then afterwards she picks the boy up, You will not cry. Similarly, we do play with them. Correct. In 8.1.14, Bhagavatam gives the same point. Therefore, to enable people to reach the stage of activities that are not tinged by fruitive activities, great saints first engage people in fruitive activities. For unless one begins by performing activities as recommended in the Shastras, one cannot reach the stage of liberation or activities that produce no reactions. So, step by step. That's when Bhagavatam 8.1.14, Prabhupada says, no? He refers to 3.9. Yajnatarth karmano netra notrayam karma bandhana. Work does as a sacrifice to Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work binds one to the material world. See, generally, everyone is attracted to hard labor, passion, or becoming happy in this material world. But although various activities are going on all over the world, simply for the sake of happiness, unfortunately, only problems are being created from such fruitive activities. You can see that. So it is advised that active persons engage in activities of Krishna consciousness, which are called yajna, because then they will gradually come to the platform of devotional service. See, there's a general misconception that performing our occupational duties means a material activity, and we can avoid that to perform the higher activity, that is devotional service. But the scriptures are very clear. They say performing our prescribed duty is indeed devotional service. It's not material. Provided we perform them with consciousness that it is a sacrifice done to please the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna. So there is no question of whether we should do our duties. There is no option really. It has to be performed. Anything we do as a sacrifice to Lord Vishnu satisfies him. So when the Lord is pleased, entire universe, including ourselves, become pleased. Yasmin tushte jagat tushtam. Sacrifice does not refer only to yajnas and homas, right? It also includes performing our daily duties, our responsibilities at work, according to our varna and ashrama, right? So when everyone in the world, including the leaders, when they perform their duties with care, then the whole world is pleased. Prithu Maharaj, while instructing his citizens on the subject of how to please the Supreme Lord, he speaks a very beautiful verse, 4:31-26, that reveals how valuable it is to the whole world when someone performs devotional service. He says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the master and enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices. And he is the Supreme Spiritual Master as well. All of you citizens, Prithu Maharaj is praying, all of you citizens on the surface of the globe who have a relationship with me, that is with Prithu Maharaj, and who are worshipping Krishna by dint of your occupational duties, they are bestowing your mercy upon me. Therefore, O citizens, I thank you. He is telling to the citizens. He's a king, right? So, the devotional service they are doing, he is thankful to them. So, Prithu Maharaj, he unveils few powerful points, right? First one is, the Supreme Lord Hari is the master and enjoyer of all sacrifices. Yajna Bhujam Adishwaram. Right? Master of enjoyer and enjoyer of all sacrifices. Second is, by performing our occupational duties continuously, without any break, Nirantaram, and with great determination, Dhradavrtaha, we can worship the Supreme Lord. Third, such great souls who perform their duties immaculately and incessantly, continuously, they distribute their mercy. Vitaranti anugraham. They distribute the mercy upon everyone, including the leader of the authority. If you are doing right. So how is it that when I perform my prescribed duties, which is also a devotional service, how is that others are getting the mercy? See, I am chanting here. How others also getting mercy? Let us see. Number one, when someone performs devotional service, or his prescribed duty, he does not have time to think about harming others. When I'm chanting, I don't think about harming anybody, right? So this way we need not fear for any harm from them. So we can stay fearless and peaceful in their presence. Secondly, So that is mercy, right? When we are chanting, others are getting the mercy. Second is by his devotional service, he purifies everyone and every place around him. Because devotional service, Krishna's name, fame are all Jagat Pavitram. So the purity, it rubs on everyone around him. And even if we have some evil thoughts in our mind, eventually we get purified in their presence. This way we get purified without even taking any extraneous efforts to purify ourselves. So these are some of the ways by which we can get benefited, right, in the presence of a devotee without their knowledge or even without our knowledge, just in coming into association. So it is important that we thank everyone who performs devotional service or prescribed duty for the pleasure of Krishna. That is why Prithu Maharaj very humbly and very sweetly, he thanks all the citizens for performing their prescribed duties to please Krishna. What a beautiful point. So we are also mingling with people during the association of devotees and programs and everything, right? So everybody is chanting. We should all thank. So nice of you to come. So nice of you to chant for Krishna's names. Because we are also benefited, they are also benefited. Multiple benefit. So this reminds of a statement by Prabhupada, who used to tell his disciples, thank you for being Krishna conscious. Prabhupada always used to say, thank you for being Krishna conscious. That's why Guru Maharaj many times he would say, never underestimate the power of devotional service. Many times we take devotional service and devotees for granted. And we are not able to thank them for being devotees. See, so many times we may say so many horrible things to devotees, right? Behave offensively, speak harshly, and even defame them, right? But most of them accept it silently and don't retaliate. Just imagine if we behave the same way to a materialist, speaking offensively, defaming a lot, what would happen? What would be our condition? With a devotee, it doesn't happen, no reaction. But with a materialist, we would land up either in the hospital or directly in the Spashan Ghat. Finished. So, following the example of Prithu Maharaj, let us appreciate the broad heart of the devotees and also all the living entities around us and thank them for being what they are, rather than provoke them for what they are not. So we see that Lord Krishna very strongly recommends that work should be done as sacrifice for him, has to be performed. Otherwise, karma bandhana. Sacrifice means working for the satisfaction of Krishna. So 3.9 is very important because everybody has to work. Nobody can be without doing any kind of work, right? We may say that housewives are not working. But the fact is, sometimes they have to work much harder than others. Just because we are not paid for the work does not mean that the work does not have any reaction. Very often, when we speak of this 3.9, we misunderstand the word work. Work is so broad in the scriptures that actually any activity in the material world is considered work. Bhagavad Gita tells us that nobody can be inactive even for a single moment. The moment we act, we can accept that. Then Bhagavad Gita is advising us that any activity that we perform, any occupational engagement that we do, it must be performed in the right mood. If you perform it in the mood to satisfy ourselves, then that work will catch us. It will catch us because there is good reaction and bad reaction. It is said in our scriptures that our karma follows us everywhere and we cannot escape them. The only way we are free of karma is when we take up that work in such a mood that we are working for the satisfaction of Krishna. We are working for the satisfaction of our spiritual master, working for the satisfaction of our devotees. So when we work for the satisfaction of Krishna's devotees, Krishna is very much pleased because he's never divorced from his devotees. See, when our spiritual master's instructions are taken to heart and we work and earn and use the results for Krishna and for our maintenance, that work cannot catch us. This is a very nice point we should understand and remember when we go to work. All of us have complaints about work. Why this unhappiness is there is, right? Not because of the work. It is the nature of this world, material world. And this we have to accept. Just as the nature of fire is to burn, this nature of water is to flow. So to Shastras tell us that nature of the world is to inflict miseries. If you expect happiness in a miserable condition, then that is the height of foolishness. If you touch fire and expect that it will feel like water, then we are really foolish. That is why we are living under complete misconception that anxiety and pain cannot touch us. No, factually speaking, anxiety and pain are always there. So work that is done for Krishna is called sacrifice in Bhagavad Gita. Every day Krishna is giving us the opportunity to perform yajna. So whatever work is done for Krishna becomes automatically accepted by him as yajna. So if you perform it for your own satisfaction, then you have to accept it as work. Then you have to be prepared for the good and bad reactions. Krishna wants workers in Krishna consciousness. He does not want like shirkers. Workers is required. That is why Vaishnavas are not shirkers. So verse tells us that when the great sages engage us in activities, when Guru Krishna Master engage the disciple in activities, they tell us before you start an activity, please chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So after chanting the Maha Mantra, if we start working, then that work will not affect us. It is karma free, sugar free, and all this, karma free. Even if you are anxious because we are doing the work, the power of Maha Mantra is so nice that it protects us throughout our working day. One of Prabhupada's disciples, in the early days, right, used to drive the taxi whole day and give the money to sustain the center. One day, this disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, many of the other disciples are telling me that when you go out to work, you are with Maya. And when you stay in the temple and serve, you are with Krishna. What is your opinion, Prabhupada? Prabhupada said, those who told you like that, they are in Maya. Now, because you are sacrificing your time, your blood, your sweat to earn whatever you can earn, and you're giving it to sustain Krishna consciousness, that work is accepted by Krishna as sacrifice. If the devotees, Prabhupada says, if the devotees stay in the temple and just take prasadam and they sleep, they are not actually sacrificing. They are enjoying. In the name of devotional service, it has become sense gratification. Very powerful point, Prabhupada said. So that is why whether we are in the temple or outside, whether we are in any social or occupational division, it is recommended, sthane sthitaha shruti gatam. Bhagavatam 10:14:3. We must become fixed and situated in Krishna consciousness. Wherever we are positioned. If we are situated in Krishna consciousness, then the verse tells us that the work that is performed will become sacrifice. See, all spiritual seekers, right, following different spiritual disciplines such as Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, can attain their respective goals only by the grace of Krishna. So he is the one who completes everyone's spiritual journey with desired results. And the Supreme Lord alone makes every Vedic sacrifice complete by rectifying all the mistakes by his grace. There's a very good shloka in Garuda Puran 230.50 which confirms this. It says, any fault which is committed due to inattention or ignorance in a Vedic sacrifice is rectified by the remembrance of Lord Vishnu and the sacrifice is made complete. See, there are so many mistakes which can happen in yajnas, such as wrong pronunciation of mantras, wrong execution of rituals. In many cases, the rectification process for these mistakes is more difficult than doing the yajna itself. But by remembering the Lord, which is easily done by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, the Sanketa Yajna, all these mistakes will be nullified and the yajna will become perfect. So all the yajnas depend on the Sankirtan yajna for their completion. But Sankirtan yajna does not depend on performance of any other yajnas. Very important point. See, all the yajnas depend on Sankirtan yajna for their completion. But Sankirtan yajna does not depend on the performance of any other yajnas. It alone can award the highest perfection in to everyone. And this point is proved in the story of Prithu Maharaj in Bhagavatam. See, Prithu Maharaj performed 99 horse sacrifices. When he was performing the 100th sacrifice, Lord Indra became very anxious that Prithu will take over his position. See, one who performs 100 horse sacrifice is qualified to become Indra. So Indra dressed himself as a false sannyasi and stole the horses meant for the sacrifice. So sage Atri, who was one of the priests in the yajna, saw this and asked Prithu Maharaj to stop Indra. So Prithu Maharaj took his bow and arrow to destroy Indra. So Indra was frightened at this and he left the horse and disappeared. So Prithu Maharaj resumed the sacrifice and again Indra tried to steal the horse. Many times and every time Prithu Maharaj stopped him at the warning of sage Atri. Prithu Maharaj, finally offended by this act of Indra, he tried to kill him. So at that time, Sage Atri stopped him and said, "Don't worry, we will bring Indra into the fire by chanting mantras and kill him." They started making preparations for the same. So by seeing this incident, Lord Brahma appeared and requested Prithu Maharaj to stop the yajna because 99 days performed, one more one should be done. He told Prithu Maharaj that Indra has paved the way for many cheating religious systems because he came as fake sannyasis to do this by dressing as a fake sannyasi. And if the yajna continues, he will do more low-level activities and introduce more false religious systems. So he advised Prithu Maharaj and the sages not to kill Indra because Indra is appointed by Supreme Lord to accept offerings of yajna. And hence killing him is not pleasing to the Lord. So listening to the advice of Lord Brahma, Prithu Maharaj stopped the sacrifice and this pleased Lord very much. Even though he did not complete the 100th yajna, Lord Vishnu personally appeared in the area of yajna because of his devotional attitude. So Lord Vishnu ordered Indra to beg apology for this offense from King Prithu. He also blessed Prithu Maharaj that he will have the association of the 4 Kumaras in future and develop pure devotional service. So all sacrifices culminates in transcendental knowledge of Supreme Lord. And when this knowledge fully matures, it results in pure devotional service to the Lord in full surrender. So by performing Sankirtan Yajna, one can invoke the blessings of Lord Vishnu, which alone can complete the Yajna. So even though King Prithu did not complete the 100th sacrifice, he pleased Lord Vishnu by his behavior. The Lord Vishnu, by his blessings, awarded him pure devotional service, which is the highest fruit of all sacrifices, and made his yajnas truly complete and purposeful. So the glorious nature of the Lord to make all sacrifices complete is confirmed by great authority Shukracharya in Bhagavatam 8:23, 15 and 16, where he says, "My Lord, you are the enjoyer and lawgiver in all performances of sacrifices. And you are the Yajna Purusha, the person to whom all sacrifices are offered. If one has fully satisfied you, where is the chance of discrepancies or faults in his performance of sacrifice? There may be discrepancies in pronouncing the mantras and observing regulatory principles. And moreover, there may be discrepancies in regard to time, place, person, and paraphernalia. But when your Lordship's holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless." So we can see that Shukracharya is addressing the Lord as Yajna Purusha, which means the Lord makes all the yajnas complete. So let us all chant the names of the Supreme Purusha and remember him so that our life becomes complete in spiritual perfection. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Stop here now. Thank you very much, Mataji, for this opportunity to glorify the Lord. Vancha kalpataru becha kripa sindubhaya vacha patidanam pavanebhi vaishnavim anantapuri vaishnavim. If you have any questions or anything to share, please go ahead. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
All that we need to ask Krishna is to take away the forgetfulness of Krishna.
Very good point. That is a
And
prayer.
yes,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Guruji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Okay. So let us stop here. So thank you very much. Revati Prabhu, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Santosh Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji. Mataji. Hare Krishna, Balaji Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
And open, Hare Krishna. Thank you. So take care. Hare Krishna.